All right. How to handle being laid off. Oh, brother. This is something I think a lot of people... Dear Bill, I'm a 27-year-old software engineer, and I was just laid off. Now, I would think that that was pretty recession-proof. Laid off from my first job, and first and only job I have had since graduating college 5 years ago. I'm looking for advice on what to do next. Well, I would stay in computers. That seems like you would always have a job. The person says, I luckily have a good support network of family and friends that can take care of me for a while until I get back on my feet. But how would you suggest I handle the next few months? Should I start getting ready for interviews immediately? Should I take this time and travel? Oh, dude, you got money if this is what you're asking. Should I hit the gym 6 days a week? Struggle to organize these ideas and would like your thoughts on this. Being a fan since I was in high school and would love it if you made a trip to Chattanooga, Tennessee. I love Chattanooga. Only been there once and I had a great time. This is what I would do. I would figure out what I wanted to do in life for a job. If you like software engineering, I would continue in that field. I wouldn't take too much time off because they'd be like, well, what the fuck have you been doing? But I will say that no matter what job you get, don't be living week to week if you can. All right? The way the money game works is you gotta live well beneath your means. And you just keep banking the shit for the ability to survive times like getting laid off, and for the ability, if you realize that you don't like what it is that you're doing, you have enough put away that you can start getting what you want to be doing going. Like when I got into stand-up comedy, there was a time where I could have quit my day job. But I didn't. I kept working my day job. And as much, I was so fucking enamored with comedians that didn't have a day job and how every day they could get up whenever the fuck they wanted to. Because that was my idea of it. I didn't understand that, no, when you quit your day job, you've now left the matrix. And it's as awesome as it is, it's slightly terrifying because now you're the one that has to turn the wheel every day. And you can very easily just waste years and years, a decade of your career, just being a lazy asshole, just not doing anything all day, and then just going out and doing your set, not really working on your act, trying to bang chicks or whatever you're into, and fucking go out and go drink, smoke some weed, and next thing you know, you're like this 40-year-old comic going, I should have been working, right? So anyway, I didn't quit my day job. What I did was I treated stand-up from day one as like I had two jobs. And I just banked as much money as I could. I was still living at home with my parents, so I didn't have any rent. I drove my truck was paid off, and it was rusting out. I didn't give a fuck. The engine died, and rather than buy a new car, I just put a new engine in it. So it only cost me it was $1,500 at the time. This is 30 years ago, as opposed to $15,000 for a new. I kept my costs down. And, I paid for my own college education, so I had a bunch of debt. I paid that off. And I did not quit my day job until I moved down to New York. And when I moved to New York, I had enough money in the bank to make my rent, and then hopefully, that was the race. Am I going to get into clubs and get in with these bookers and have enough road dates the way I did in Boston that I'll be able to make my rent and be a comedian before I run out of money? That was kind of the thing. So it seems to me, even though you said you had a support system, that you were saving your money. So I know this is a long answer, but nobody ever really talks to you about how fucking important it is to save money. And you're certainly not going to learn how to save money by going onto social media, because all people are doing is trying to show these fucking ridiculously glamorous lifestyles that they have. It's kind of like that joke I was doing. I riffed that idea about this whole stupid ice bath phenomenon. You already have a bathtub. You can go to 7-Eleven and buy a bag of ice. Why do you have to buy the super sleek Euro thing? So whenever I want to take an ice bath, and that's another thing too, like you've lived your whole fucking life without taking an ice bath. Okay? And you're fine. So like everybody has like this is the fucking thing that, remember kale? Like out of nowhere, everyone just started talking about kale. All these things are just these marketing bullshit fucking ideas to separate you from your hard-earned money. Okay? And when you stop playing the game is when the fuck you get ahead. Okay? Don't look at all of these fucking jerk-offs walking around with jewelry and cars and all of this fucking crap. Okay, first of all, all they're doing, like if you go around and you flash your money like that, you are going to attract some of the worst human beings you could possibly meet, both male and female. All right? What you want to be doing is be that person that's fucking crushing it and people don't even know it. Barry Sanders, greatest running back of all time as far as like elusiveness and whatever, right? And only played 10 years and still almost had the most yards of anybody other than Emmitt Smith, I believe. That fucking dude was like fucking Jimi Hendrix playing football. It was like just doing shit you'd never seen before. And he scores a touchdown, and what would he do? He would just hand the ball to the referee. Okay? Look at how he conducted himself after he scored a touchdown and apply that to money. And then look at these other people that score touchdowns and rip open their jersey like they're fucking Superman or fucking spin around and do a backflip and all of that fucking shit. That's that guy flashing his fucking money. I'm not trashing Cam Newton, by the way. It's the first thing I thought of. I'm just saying, you can be in your 20s and already be drowning in fucking credit card debt, and you haven't even gotten married yet. You haven't even had kids yet and all of this shit, and you're going to spend your whole fucking life chasing it. Or it's critical as a young person financially to start marching in the direction of financial freedom. Nobody's 100% free because of the way these fucking bankers have everything set up that if, God forbid, you stop. I told you, I watched that thing about that guy living off the grid. And you would think like, holy shit, he has to grow his own food. He has to do all of this stuff. He must be just exhausted every day. He has more fucking free time. This whole thing that they built is just designed for you. I don't know. Something's going on though right now. I feel like we're at the end of capitalism where for the longest time, we've kind of looked the other way at the level of greed at the top. And these guys where they just cannot make enough money and they've run out of ways to do it. And now their only way to keep making more and more each quarter at this point is they have to entirely eliminate the fucking middle class. And it's going to turn into like these places I would go to, like when I went to India, where it was like you either had money or you didn't. It's going to become something like that. But the brilliance is if you talk about having a middle class now, I believe that they'll probably brand that as socialism or communism. Why I feel like the best news I saw this week was UPS, the union of the UPS drivers got the drivers a fucking raise, because I used to be in warehousing and those guys, they work them like dogs. So anyway, I know I just went on a whole fucking tangent. I didn't even answer your fucking question now that I'm thinking about it. But I would say, if you need to take a little bit of time off, I wouldn't take much more than a month off. I would try to get back into it as long as that is what you want to do. But I don't think going to the gym is a bad idea. You might want to use this time rather than travel, hit the gym, do all this shit. You might want to just have some quiet time and go sit in a park and kind of think about things and maybe try, sometimes when you get quiet, you kind of figure some shit out. I'm kind of talking to myself instead of you, but that's one way to do it. But sorry you got laid off. I hope that works out. But like, I do like the fact that you actually can be laid off and you have some sort of system set up where people are going to be able to help you out. And it seems like you're not too concerned about money, which means you're probably smart with your money. So keep doing that. And if you've been done with your money, start being smart with it. Dig yourself out. You don't need to get an ice bath. All right.